Hey, what's going on, everybody? Max here with Because Bitcoin, and today for 10 minutes max, we are going to be doing a Caspa update. I know a lot of you have wanted it, and here it finally is. Before we get into the charts, if you could do me a solid and please like and subscribe if you are new here, that would be greatly appreciated. And just a quick reminder, these videos called 10 minutes max are our daily 10-minute segments where we give you all of your daily alpha delivered in under 10 minutes. All right, I posted this on X probably like a week ago, you know. And this is the daily time frame for Caspa and I said, "Look guys, we are getting into that, dramatically oversold region, like that deep value area." And I've highlighted here, conveniently for you guys to see every time we've had daily RSI under this line, which is basically like your 40 level, 40, 45, somewhere around here, that has been your shove spot. That has been your reaccumulation area. And I didn't think that this time would be any different. And what did we see? We saw a final capitulation. Truth be told, I thought we would probably bottom somewhere around like 12.8. We actually did go down to 11.8, give or take. So a little bit lower than I had expected. I did buy some more Caspa yesterday, as I announced publicly this morning as well. The best is yet to come, guys. And I've been saying this. I was like, you need to ignore all of this because this is a very healthy reset. First of all, like let's look at some measured moves, right? Like if you had just bought even coming out of this red zone every single time when, on the daily time frame, our momentum oscillators have more or less completely reset. Let's just take a look at it, right? Like this move was 690%. Okay. Let's keep it rolling. Even out of this deep value zone right here. If you want to go to here, it's 171, 173. Out of this one, I mean, I guess this one was smaller, right? 40%. You could kind of combine them into a bunch, but I just want to provide like a little bit of perspective. Whenever, we've gotten to that level of oversold, um, look at what typically comes afterwards, right? Like nothing has fundamentally changed. The reason you loved Caspa at, half of a penny is the same reason you loved it at 5 cents, and the same reason you loved it at 13, and the same reason you loved it at 18. It's just different. It's just all local volatility, right? And then here, right? 75%. So I think that the best is yet to come, and we're going to talk about that. I've done a lot of comparisons, with Caspa, over the months and I guess quarters that I've been kind of following it, and I've compared it to things last cycle. And before we get into some of these other examples, I want to just highlight this point. All right, Caspa is a mid cap altcoin. All right, it's I believe, as do most of you, I assume, that it is poised for more, right? But think of it in terms of like a company, all right? You may enter a Fortune 500 company as a 22-year-old right out of college, and you may be the smartest individual at that company. And you may just have that secret sauce. You may have been, given a God-given ability, and you are poised to be the CEO of that business one day, or to have, a COO, CFO, CMO, a C-suite kind of role. All right. But you don't walk into a company as a 22-year-old and just immediately jump up to the top because of who you are or your innate principles. Okay. You have to prove yourself. You have to work your way through the ropes. That's with anything. So that's what Caspa is doing right now. It's not a 22-year-old, it was a 22-year-old entering a company down here. But Caspa's, mid-level management right now. Caspa is, 32 years old and is slowly climbing up the ranks. And I have no doubt that it's poised to be in an executive role one day. Of course, in this example, that would imply, top 10 by market cap. No question, it has that potential, but it has to prove it. So until that happens, it gets treated and kind of roped in with all the other mid cap altcoins because that's what it is right now, and that doesn't diminish its potential at all. It's just a growing pain. So again, why is Caspa suddenly behaving like a mid cap alt rather than the pristine fundamental better version of Bitcoin that the Caspa community really thinks that it is, and maybe it is? Well, that's because it's still a mid cap altcoin and it's being treated like one. But all right, let's delete this and let's hide these for now, and then we're gonna get into another chart. Okay, hide this, and we'll hide this. So just from like another perspective, taking it off of log, um, this is kind of something we're doing here, right? Like let's actually go back one more. So, looking at this right here, we're just slowly creating a parabola right now. This is how a parabola forms. Um, on linear mode. So you kind of get this area going back even further, right? This seems really steep. You're like, oh wow, that's really steep. And then you go up and you pump, and then that looks really flat, right? And we create higher highs, higher lows, vertical accumulation. And now we move up, and now this starts to look flat where we're at right here, or where we were. And then this is the new version, right? And this is how a parabola forms over many, many months. And eventually you're going to see Caspa just do something like this, where now we need to flatten this out right here, and you're ultimately going to see, in my opinion, something like this, and then the next leg up, and then this this will look like this. It just gets steeper and steeper and steeper, and this is how a parabola looks on the lower time frame. All right. But now let's move over to another chart. When I say that Caspa is a mid cap altcoin, this is what I mean, guys. So I've compared it to a lot of different tickers from last cycle. And the reason that I'm using ADA in this example is because ADA was a blue chip mid cap altcoin last cycle, just like Caspa is now, and it's probably poised for a similar climb to the top, just like ADA was. Um, so let's take a look at some of these amazing similarities here. All right. So we're going to draw a few lines here. Again, it's never one to one, but I want you to understand the spirit of the move. All right. We'll make it red just so it's super visible. Make this one red as well. And, down here I've put Bitcoin, right? And when I keep saying mid cap altcoin, this is what I want to highlight. What always happens to mid cap altcoins at this phase of the cycle is, when Bitcoin is getting towards making a new all-time high. And by the way, Bitcoin made a new all-time high right here. The previous all-time high was 69K. And in 2020, last cycle, Bitcoin made a new all-time high right here. So what do we see here, guys? Right? This region is most comparable, and I'll make this one, I guess, blue. I'm just trying to use colors that are really obvious to this region. And then Bitcoin goes on to make a new all-time high, which I'll just mark it out here with a line right here, which was 69K before. And then the previous cycle, it was 19.7, right? So like right around here. So look at the price action that happens to mid-cap altcoins as Bitcoin makes its ascent up into a new all-time high. Let's highlight it. And I was doing this all on Twitter while it was happening. I was like, guys, this is what's happening. Here's what you can expect. Until Bitcoin really blasts off, you're going to continue to kind of get like chop and whatever. And you may still get a little bit of it, right? But what happens after Bitcoin goes on to make, a clear new all-time high? Let's prospect that out. All right. Let's take a look at it. So back in 2020, and then we're gonna shade the ADA chart as well. Bitcoin clearly makes a new all-time high rather than chopping around. And let's see what ADA did. Let's do our shading, right? So right here, actually, we'll even just go back to like the blue circle, right? So this was all of the price action right here. Well, Bitcoin was climbing up to make a new all-time high. You can see ADA was aggressive, just chopping, bleeding, dancing around. And Caspa, again, from this blue circle, right, where we took the ADA one, which is when we kind of had like our local distribution. Most of it happened in here. Yes, we kind of did climb up, right? But when did ADA really perform? That's what we want to know. Like, when did the blue chip alts of last cycle really perform? And again, it's never perfect, but it performed once Bitcoin got above its all-time high. Then things just went crazy. Like things literally just went straight up in a straight line. And guys, the same thing, is happening here again. And we could even take a fractal, because I have a feeling, I haven't done this yet. I mean, they look similar, right? Like they look very, very similar. Um, and by the way, ADA goes, even higher than this, but we're just gonna throw it right here. And let's just see if we can massage this on here just for some fun, right? Yeah, I mean, it's not perfect, right? But something like this, right? While Bitcoin is trying to establish value and make a new all-time high. So again, I am pretty convicted here, and I just bought more Caspa. Again, it's on my Twitter. I have a big position that I'm slowly growing, and I've been buying, carefully as we get into this deep value, oversold region. But yeah, guys, the best is yet to come. Like, look what happened with ADA last cycle when Bitcoin, got above its all-time high with conviction. ADA was bleeding, chopping around what Bitcoin was doing this, and then we'll just take it from like somewhere where Caspa could be right now, right? Went up 16x. Went up 16x from basically, let's just say January 1st even through May. Like 4 or 5 months, like crazy returns. So I'm just saying, guys, like I see a lot of evidence that the best is still yet to come. And I understand that the growing pains of going through the ranks from small cap to mid cap, which we're at right now, ultimately to like mainstream adoption, large cap, top 15, top 10 by market cap. The growing pains are difficult and they're turbulent, turbulent days, and it tests your conviction, but no one said it would be easy. And that's why you have to develop your own conviction on this, because if you don't have your own conviction, your emotions are going to run rampant. I personally did not care about this bleed because I understood what was happening and why it was happening. And I'm doing my best to try to guide you guys and help educate. And I know a lot of you, you reach out and you're appreciative and you're accumulating and you're confident and convicted. And that's what it's all about, guys. But again, things look really good. Just in my opinion, like the best is yet to come. We haven't even seen Bitcoin dominance drop yet. So I'm holding strong, but I will continue to update you guys if things change, of course. But in my opinion, prosperous times ahead. Thanks so much for being here. We did go a little bit longer than 10 minutes, but that's okay. Hope you guys forgive me. Again, this was 10 minutes max, brought to you by Because Bitcoin. If you haven't yet, please consider not only liking, but also subscribing if you are new here. We are growing so quickly, and it's thanks to your guys' consistent support. If you guys want to be behind the curtain with me and the rest of the Because Bitcoin team, have access to all of our active positions, everything that we're doing in these markets, things we don't talk about on X or on YouTube, premium private analysis, and 2 hours per day of private voice calls with Q&A. Again, 2 hours per day, you get to talk with me and the rest of the team privately and see our premium, private, premier, whatever analysis. Consider checking out the first link in the description below, guys. Additionally, you will get the Because Bitcoin trading terminal included in your Discord membership for no additional cost, guys. Again, you will be grandfathered in at your current rate. You will basically get the BB terminal airdrop to you in your existing membership. That's coming out right around the Bitcoin halving, and you will be early access given beta testing to the BB terminal. You're going to want to use it. So check out the first link in the description below to take your trading to the next level. Guys, thanks so much for being here. Like and subscribe, and we will see you next time. Take care.